This is the third evocative report of the Beyond Text project. It's based on the launch of the module Arts-Based Methods in Research, Assessment and Evaluation, and the trial of our ebook. The program itself took place at Lahti between the 11th and the 20th of March. And our multiplier event was held in Hämeenlinna, Finland on the 21st of March 2019. With this evocative report, I ask you to enter into our experience and share it with us. Before we began working together, the space was prepared with intention and filled with possibilities. In order for us to work in this beyond text and arts-based way, we needed a space that reflected that type of intention. We gathered together and asked ourselves the question that we have asked ourselves continually throughout this project. How do we frame our work so others can understand? Each partner organization invited participants from diverse fields to complete the module of 20 ECTS credits. Students came from Spain, from Catalan, from Palestine, Finland, the UK, and Estonia. At the module's core was our ebook that we had the opportunity to test and update continuously throughout the module. It reflected the scope of our project, where arts-based methods are used for assessment, research, and evaluation. We gained an understanding of how the ebook works. Each chapter is divided into 2 sections: read and think, and do and reflect. The writers in the ebook are members of our core team and other individuals who have contributed to our journey along the way. The teaching on the module was continually linked to the ebook so students could return to the material, read on their own, watch videos, and access the visual materials available. Just as in the ebook, Alan Owens started us off thinking about what are arts-based methods and gave us a thorough introduction. Students could then go back and access the ebook where there are videos of Alan working through the same type of talk in Estonia. So the ebook not only becomes a resource for the learner, it is also a wonderful documentation of our learning process in the Beyond Text team. As I said earlier, at the end of each section there was always a wonderful task, something based on the work that we've been doing or directing students' or participants' attention to something that was presented in the ebook itself, oftentimes in video and audio format, trying to embrace the Beyond Text methods. Students were invited to create their own reflective sketchbooks, and that was a wonder to see unfolding. They really embraced a lot of the watercolor inks that were available to them, but some used their phones, others used scrapbooking methods, and others more digital methods as well. Students came with their own methods, such as needlepoint, and we also used lots of very physical activities to explore some basic tenets of innovation, like convergence and divergence, and also expose students to all of the material available here in Finland. It was a wonderful commingling of different methods, everybody working in their own way. Anne Passila of LUT University, Finland, led us through her wonderful journey. She has used arts-based methods for research and is one of the forerunners in the field. We had a wonderful opportunity to experience her theatrical images and work together in different configurations. We engaged in dialogue across so many of the different languages in this multilingual and multicultural group that had come together. We used English in order to communicate across different cultures as well, and come to an understanding through arts-based methods, where participants shared their own experiences, reflected on their own practice, and listened with the intention to learn. Everybody working and engaging with arts-based methods, and some for the very first time. All the while, the ebook supported the participants' learning so they could go back and read about the methods that they had experienced, as well as access the published material and books and articles about these wonderful methods. Raquel Benmergui led the participants through some evocative visual storytelling and visual documentation and sense making. Throughout this project, they had used arts-based project management methods where the entire project itself was visualized in concrete and digital form so that all of the participants and the core team members could have a communal understanding of the goals, the intentions, and the roles. Bridging digital and analog methods throughout the 3 years, the participants themselves were invited to reflect and look at the images that had been produced and use them as a reflective tool. Raquel also discussed the many different layers and connections there were with using these kind of visual methods and theater or drama-based methods themselves. Next, Katrin Nielsen led the group in a wonderful exercise of embodied learning and knowing, looking at process drama, drama conventions, and different learning styles, all the while weaving the theoretical, the practical, and the experiential ways of learning and knowing. Louis Soleil looked at sound artifacts as assessment methodology. We had the opportunity in the ebook to access video and audio material, and when we came together to work with materials that are normally used just for building. But we constructed and played with our own instruments and experimented. All of this was documented in the ebook so that the students could later access the audio and visual material available to them. We experimented with different methods such as Alan's story capture, where he shared and reflected back to the group the stories that we had created together. We worked with pretext-based work and again challenged ourselves to document that process in some way to reflect that liminality. Simon Poole led us through ekphrastic poetry writing, giving us a great background in that and allowing participants to play and merge and participate and perform, all the while again being documented in the ebook and allowing participants to access their own performances afterwards. It was a multilingual and multidimensional way of working. Our colleagues from Catalan, Eva, took us out of the classroom and into the cold Finnish winter to go on a derive, exploring our surroundings, coming together and reflecting on what it is that we had learned. We had Clive Holton, a guest who's also been on this wonderful journey with us, to come and lead us on some sessions in making these wonderful reflective sketchbooks. Our colleagues from the University of Bethlehem used compound stimulus, looking at artifacts, exploring the possible stories behind them, and engaging in dialogue around this beautiful, rich material. They created a script and performed it for us, allowing then the participants themselves to participate in the story making, trying to figure out how it could possibly end. We also had wonderful sessions led by Abdel Fattah Absrour, looking at beautiful resistance, a philosophy to inspire hope and promote life for oppressed, and the use of arts-based methods in that specific context. Our colleagues from La Ravera used ritualized theater, transforming the spaces that we were working in by having us work in blindfold, working together and experiencing story and space in a different way. Monica Biagioli invited us to explore zines, creating them to map out our processes, reflect on our learning, and share while we were creating. We even looked at clowning as a kind of reflective or evaluative tool that can be used in various different ways. And we explored that with our colleagues from La Navera. But at the center of this time together were the participants who created beautiful, reflective, rich material in their reflective sketchbooks, and for example, through crafting their own reflections and documentations in their own way. We merged together our own learning, our own reflections, and became a true, strong group. We traveled to Hamk in Hämeenlinna on the 21st of March and had a wonderful group of outside participants join us as well. The opening talk by Alan Owens reflected our arts-based methods. We used a method that we call VJing, where Raquel Ben-Mergui listened as Alan gave his talk about arts-based methods and pulled up images from the ebook itself without Alan knowing or having any control over what was being shown. We had wonderful outside speakers at our seminar portion of the multiplier event. Here's a graphic recording that encompasses the synthesis of all of the highlights of the talks. We didn't stay in the seminar situation though all day. We moved into the public, semi-public, and even the hallway spaces that were available at the University of Applied Sciences in order to expose participants and even passers-by of the methods. People engaged in embodied learning, different rituals, creating zines, reflecting on their own process and the joy of learning, storytelling, and looking at different artifacts and guided research methods. Standing together and experiencing arts-based methods in this way and documenting it throughout can really show how impactful arts-based methods can be. And in the end, it was time to close our sessions together and say goodbye.